Hey! Congratulations! Our channel has hit 300,000 subscribers. It is a massive milestone for any channel, in particular this one, and I'll explain to you why. But first, I got this bottle of exploding water, so I thought we would just shake this up and celebrate the way that I only know how to do it, is to do something crazy in a live stream. Congratulations. That should have been a lot bigger. It says here strong water. It says it's supposed to be strong. What? Woo! All right. It's the best I can do. This channel has been an experiment. It started way back in 2017 when I was hitchhiking in almost 6 years ago. And it's been an incredible journey. I want to talk to you a little bit about it in this live stream, as well as show you the beautiful scene of Tokyo Bay in the sunshine right now. It's an absolutely stunning spring day. But as we celebrate 300,000 subscribers, every single one of them very special, every single one of you who have made this an incredible channel, an experimental channel that has just gone right for me. We've grown so much over the last 6 years, obviously. Take a look at the first live stream on this channel, which was in Kumamoto during my time as a hitchhiker. Hello everybody, I'm live from Kumamoto. This is the first Only in Japan Go episode where I'm on the go, making live videos from locations all around Japan. I'm in the middle of a month-long hitchhiking trip, and I thought I'd stream live from shopping arcade. I saw him maybe about 100 times. I didn't count actually, but he's everywhere. Now I want to take you to the castle, but today is raining. As you can see, it's not a very nice day. Standing up, there you go. So I can't take you around Kumamoto Castle, but what I can take you to is the shopping arcade, which is right there. Nice. This part of the Shotengai is really exciting because streaming YouTube now. It has more bright lights and more people.今ライブストリーミング YouTube だよ。Oh my god. 300人いる。名前は何ですか？
My name is Naoki.
Naoki, 英語話してる？
今話したちょっと。
そうや。Wonderful. Okay, go ahead. どうぞ。All right. Bye bye. 君の誕生日も。I don't know. Just walk around the city with a selfie stick, and you're gonna get people that jump in front of you. You gotta love Kumamoto. I gotta tell you, this place has been really amazing. Yeah, okay, so that's just a little clip of the first one from so many years ago. You can see the quality of the live stream. So I thought that the external video, this is another feature of the live streaming channel where we can now import or activate media assets like that inside of the live stream, which is totally awesome. But I'm using an external microphone, so you couldn't hear that, so I apologize for the low audio. Experimental channel. Yeah, you know, the quality of the live streaming back then was 480p. It was really low, but it wasn't that bad because prior to that, we didn't have anything. So it was a great start for it. I want to say thank you to Arthur Vandelay. Thank you so much for the super chat down over there in Australia. And Honey Jaffer, nice to see you here. Thank you so much. Yeah, the live streaming back in 2017, I don't think there were a lot of people doing what I was doing. Live streaming was essentially a question and answer format where you would talk with your subscribers, like hook it up to your laptop or something, and you would sit down in a cafe and just do question and answer. And I wanted to do it differently. I wanted to take the live streaming format
and take you with me inside of this smartphone. So everywhere that I was, you were with me. That was my goal. I didn't realize that it had a name like IRL or something, in real life or something like this. I don't know. Back then, I didn't even heard of that type of streaming. But I remember walking around Tokyo and the country, and I didn't see anybody doing what I'm doing. And over the last 6 years, I see a lot of people doing what I'm doing. A lot of people are walking around with gimbals. Back then, I think DJI had the Osmo 2, I think I had. It had like external batteries that you'd put into the bottom of it. I'd have to use this special attachment to make the stick longer, which would balance it, like this little attachment that was in the center of gravity for the gimbal. The technology has changed so much. It's come so far, but the purpose of this channel has stayed the same. And it's essentially to take you with me or to share with you parts of Japan that I can't do in an edited, formatted video, because not only would it just take too long, this is what way more casual, and this is how I think you would talk to friends. You talk to people like this. You wouldn't do it in an edited video. It's harder because you can edit the edited video. If you make a mistake, you can hide some things, right? In this, you can't hide anything. It is what it is. And on this format, who you are comes out in it. And I think the success of this channel as a result of the connection that we make through this type of platform. So I have to say thank you to YouTube for creating, mobile live streaming on this platform. I don't know if it existed on something called Ustream. So I was doing live streams back in like 15 years ago or more. My friend Joseph Tame he's more of the innovator of live streaming on the go, where he would live stream his Tokyo marathons going back to, I think, 2008 or something, which is crazy, right? Back then, the quality was even worse than it was when I first started on YouTube. But all those years ago, just to have something was really cool like this. And just to put it in perspective, I know UFO Bob is here. He probably knows this too. If you wanted to go live, you needed a van, a satellite with a satellite dish on the top of it. You needed a group inside that van to broadcast it to that satellite. You needed a camera, an audio person. It required so many people and so many things to do what I'm doing right now, not too long ago. And now, what makes me really happy is that I'm not the only one doing this now. There are people doing this all over Tokyo today, right now, as we speak. You could probably find somebody doing a live stream, taking you somewhere around the city of Tokyo, showing you one of the beautiful aspects of it. And I'm so happy, and I'm also so proud of this platform and changing and shaping its way as what we see today. I don't have a prepared speech, and I didn't even think about what I was gonna say today, but I think the emotions, sometimes when you do a live stream, the words just come out of your mouth. Not always perfectly. So I'm asking everybody right now, we have like 1,000 live streams on this channel over the last 6 years. It's a lot. I would live stream whenever I felt lonely, or I felt tired, or I felt like I needed a little bit of energy, or I felt I needed to connect with people. This brought me to you. And this is, and you came when I went live, and I'm so thankful for that. But over those 1,000 episodes or more, a lot of stuff happened. There are some top moments, and I can't sift through all of them, but for many of you who have been here since the beginning, because we started off pretty strong, we had a pretty good subscriber base from the beginning, thanks to the success of the first channel I had. So if you can go back and think of those scenes and clip them for me, send me the link, send me the time code, or just find a way to clip it. Use your iPhone and screen capture it and send it to me, but tell me which video it is, and then I'm gonna try to put that together and go over the top 15 moments of Only in Japan Go. There's some hilarious moments, some weird stuff has happened, and just in that video at Kumamoto, you could see that people, when you go live, what I'm doing right now, holding a stick, it's just really weird. When you go live, people are curious. People want to figure out what you're doing. What are you doing walking around with a stick with a phone on top of it? So especially in the beginning, people would come and say hi to me. It was a really unusual thing. Nowadays, though it's sometimes a little bit sensitive, and some places are even saying you're not allowed to stream here. I think Disneyland, Disney World is one of them where you're not allowed to live stream in the park now. So I don't know. The culture is always evolving, just like this channel. Let me show you Tokyo Bay. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's a spring day. The sun is warm, a light breeze, no humidity, but that sun is beating down and I can feel it on my face. It feels great. That's the Rainbow Bridge in the distance, and in another live stream in the beginning, I remember walking across it and taking you with me. You can ride on some of the ferries that take you across from Hamamatsucho, the Daimon area, and will take you under the bridge to Odaiba, which we're panning over right now, which is such an amazing ride. You get a feeling of the city when you get under the water here, and on a warm day, especially in the summer, it's nice to be on the water. And Odaiba has a beach where you can hike up your jeans a little bit and wad in the water. I wouldn't go swimming, but you can. Some people do. There's Odaiba right there to the left. You can see the famous Fuji TV building with the globe glowing with the sun hitting it on the top there. You can go kayaking. You know what they do over there? They have like windsurfing. So you can rent windsurfing. Just be careful. Keep your mouth closed if you fall in. You don't want to drink any of this water. I remember before the Olympics, they did a test and said that it wasn't up to standards. So they had to do a lot of cleaning. So maybe it's better than it was a few years ago, but there you go. Hello, hi, 821. How about a bottle of Tsurukame? Yes! I could do that. You know what? Hello, hi, 821. This milestone creeped up on me. I didn't think we were gonna hit it this early. I thought it was gonna be sometime in May, but it creeped up on me, and I remember looking in last night. This is such a coincidence. I looked last night and I saw that the number said 300,000 as a subscriber count, because I was thinking of doing a midnight run. I wasn't sure. I ended up not doing it. And it was exactly 300,000. So I know the person, I saw who that subscriber was for number 300,000 and took a screenshot. I forget who it was, but I want to say thank you to that person. I'm sure you know who you are, because it was at $2.99, you hit subscribe it and it goes to 300,000 is always a pretty cool thing. Tsurukame is a very famous sake in Niigata, the Eichiko Yuzawa area. It's one of my favorites, and I think it's one of Jim's favorites too. It's a very smooth, but it's also very, has a lot of really good character to it. So I will go and buy that. The Niigata store carries it, and it's over at Omotesando. So I'll have to see if PVG wants to get together and celebrate on the weekend here. You know, you have all seen me change as well over the course of the last several years. I've gotten noticeably older, as you have too. I just can't see you on the other side, but that's a good thing, because wisdom comes from that. I feel stronger. I'm happier. I don't know, I'm as happy. I haven't lost any of it, actually. I have more to be happy about, I suppose, now than I did back then. So over the time, if you look back at the live streams, for me, it's almost like a capsule of my life too, because I didn't hold back on a lot of stuff. When I was out there traveling, even if it was during the pandemic and I was in my tent, we would have, you know, heart-to-heart talks. And I think that this is a format, live streaming, that you can excel at getting to know people. And before, and this is, let me put the phone here. This is a really interesting thing. So before this live streaming was here, and it's supposed to be imperfect live streaming. It's not supposed to be like everything lined up. I sometimes want to show you the ground, right? I want to show you what the ground looks like. I want to show you what the roof looks like. I want to show you what the trees around me look like, because that's the stuff that you don't see in an edited video, because that never will make it into the cut. Live streaming is great because it is long format, because you can sit back, relax, and depending on the person who's doing the live streaming, you can have a still pretty interesting time being taken around by a guide. And this channel has always been an experimental channel. It's always been a channel where I would try out new things because I didn't feel like I could do that with the main edited video channel, because you want to hit home runs. At least that's the way I look at it. I want to hit home runs. I want to get really big episodes out there that make an impact. This is more, I want to guide you around. I want to show you some really cool stuff, and I want you to feel the texture. I want you to hear the sounds around me, the wind sometimes, because the microphone situations has changed with the technology. I want you to experience it the way that I would, and through this format you could do that, right? You could be there, but it takes time. It takes time for a live stream to start, to get into it, and then when you something happens, you're there. You're there to celebrate it, or to laugh, or to cry, or to share that moment. And that's what it's all about here. TACDAK writes in here, congratulations, JD. Quick question, how could I join to be a channel member from mobile? That's a good question. I think there used to be a link in the description of the videos where you could click that link and it would take you to the page, but because I started the Prism, this new app, which I'll talk about in a second, it's harder to do that. So let me give that link to the moderators, and if you can't do it in this one, we'll do it in the next one. I really apologize. If there's a way for moderators, if you could figure out what that link is, there's a link that will get you to the channel memberships. And I want to say, just shout out to the 700 plus channel membership subscribers of this. This is really meant a lot to me that you guys wanted to be travelers and insiders, and I want to say thank you to you all as well. Yeah, this channel has always been an experiment, and it didn't always go right. Just the other day, a live stream started, but you know, I couldn't do it because of all the technology behind it. I started it with the YouTube app, but I wanted to pick it up with another app that allows me to stream in 1080p, but I couldn't do that because YouTube creates live streams and under the designation of a mobile live stream. And if I do it with StreamYard or another platform, it does it as live streaming with a third-party platform, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But this has been the frustration, and this has been actually, I think, the learning process of live streaming. It's not easy to do. The technology behind this is always evolving, always changing. We see people who have backpacks walking around here. N-Star writes in here, I was in middle school when I started watching you. What? I was a big reason. Don't tell me you're in college now. Why I wanted to go to Japan. I'm in college now. Really? I want to go next year. Oh my gosh, thank you for that. Thank you for just commenting and telling me that. That's really incredible. And Tig Rahoff is here. Tig, wait, who are you again? John? Yes, congratulations. Thank you, Tig. I'm happy that you're here to celebrate with us. Wow, I can't believe you're in middle school. When I got here 25 years ago, I remember teaching a girl who was 6 months old. Her mom brought her in, and she learned, after 6 months of taking English lessons, it wasn't just because of my fault. All kids learn fast. But she was speaking English after 6 months, like as though she had, I don't know, parents that were from abroad. So it was smart that her mom brought her in so early. But I wonder what that girl is doing. Her first name was Shiori. She's so cute. She was just a small little girl 25 years ago. And right now she's 25 years old. I cannot believe that. So I have to find her. I have to find some of the people that I taught. Back then we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have social media. We didn't have ways to keep in touch. We had email, but even then, a lot of Japanese didn't have email in 1998. We didn't have mobile phones that could do internet. We had mobile phones that did like messaging was still kind of new, and it was expensive. It was like, I think it was more than 10 yen for one mail message, right? In 1998. So a lot has changed so much, and you can keep in touch better. So it's gonna be a monumental task to try to find those people, which is one of my goals for this summer, because I'll be celebrating my 25th anniversary here in Japan as well. Another milestone, right? Which is crazy to think about that. Let's pivot back to the technology of the live streaming. So since 2017, these live streams were broadcasted originally in 480p on the YouTube Go Live app. Sometime in 2018, they moved that up to 720p, but you needed a really good signal in order to get a clear signal. And we had something called Minecraft quality come up when they moved it to 720p, because if the signal dipped just a little bit, the pixels would get so much bigger and it would turn into this Minecraft quality, which is actually kind of cool if you play Minecraft, but it can get a little bit annoying. Thankfully, the audio quality was still fairly good. Now, YouTube and I have been doing, I don't want to say battle, but working together to try to improve the app. It doesn't always work out that way, though. And I've seen moderate improvements on the YouTube app, but I've always stuck with them because YouTube as a platform, I do think that they care about the creators more than other social media platforms. And I'm really thankful to have a relationship or to have, and just to say that I have that is in itself pretty incredible. They have, even if you're a new creator, there's a way where you can get in touch with creator services. And if you don't know this, you can go on to Twitter and @MarkTeamYouTube and someone will respond, which is incredible to me. So YouTube has always been a platform where creators can somehow, in one way or another, get in touch with somebody for help. And if you couldn't, you can get in touch with the creator, because I've had a lot of other creators, smaller ones, get in touch with me to give them help when they had somebody like hack their account or something. It's a community of people. Creators are a community of people. And I'm sure I wasn't the first live streamer to do this like this, but I was one of the first back then, because handheld gimbals were not a thing yet. They were sort of like a weird cinema thing, but they were really expensive. I remember the first DJI Osmo gimbal I bought was like $400 or something, right? It was really expensive. So this wasn't like a hobby thing. Like if you were to buy a gimbal, $400 is a lot of money to buy an Osmo gimbal, and it wasn't mainstream yet. So not a lot of people were doing it. In fact, the biggest hurdle, do you still write as a journalist? I try to. I was just talking with Greg Lane from TokyoCheapo.com, and I might write some articles for them in the next couple months. So, all right. The biggest hurdle with why this was so slow to become, and I'll ask this as a quiz to you guys. What do you think it was? So the technology wasn't quite there yet, right? In 2017, we had 480p. It's good to kind of remember this stuff. The gimbals, we didn't really have smooth video. I remember people said, John, your video is so smooth. How do you do that? Like, people were asking me. Now everybody knows about gimbals, but back then, DJI and the gimbals, they weren't really mainstream yet. I had one in, I think, my first gimbal I bought was for my GH4, and it was really bad. It was not reliable. It would sometimes just start shaking like this. The biggest hurdle was, anybody? It was the cost of bandwidth. If you remember, there was no such thing as unlimited bandwidth for your mobile phone. It didn't exist. Like unlimited, all you can use, broadcast in 1080p. This is one reason why 480p was the thing, because of you were using like gigabytes of bandwidth to do a live stream. 6 years ago, you didn't have an unlimited plan, or if you did, the Cadillac plan, we would call it, it was really expensive. And if you were gonna make a living off of this live stream, this kind of a format, you really couldn't. One, is it interesting enough for people to watch it and place ads in it, and then people would still watch it? Like, I wanted to try to change that. Not a question and answer, but introduce something to you where you were live with me and you could feel that, right? So the other thing that was there, to make a living out of this, the technology changed. YouTube one day, I think it was hitchhiking. I had no idea. I kind of heard about it, so maybe I heard some sort of announcement, but I didn't even know I didn't understand it until it happened one day. I was live streaming, I was hitchhiking on a highway, waiting for a ride. I'm all by myself, except I wasn't, because I had you guys with me. Those are some great live streams back in the early days too. Should do that again. So one day this color popped up. I think it was orange, and it was a super chat. And I was confused, because I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what it was. I had to wait a couple of days. I'm like, wait, what? It had a dollar sign attached to it, and somebody had gave money as like a tip or something. I was really confused. So I did some research in it and I was like, what? Super chat? That started. So YouTube started this to help creators find a revenue for doing live streams and encourage this platform too, which is so cool. And that has been a fun thing. Not only has it been really good for the channel and for all live streamers to interact and to do things, to get noticed, because if there's thousands of people watching, hundreds of people watching, it can be hard sometimes to get noticed, or you just want to say thank you. The way I've always done it is this. So I can sit down for a second. The way I've always thought of it is like this, all right? So to support on Patreon or to become a member, a channel member, it's support, right? That's where support is. A super chat is a gift, right? It's a thank you. It's a way to encourage. It's a spontaneous thing. I mean, you can see it in so many different ways, but there's a difference between it the way I see it. YouTube takes a percentage of the super chats. I believe it's like 30%, but that does go to the creator, and it does make a huge difference. So I want to say thank you to everybody who does do that, even if it's I try to stop and say thank you to people, because if someone is going to support you or give you a gift like that, you want to stop and say thank you. But when this first started, super chats, I had no idea what it was. I didn't even know how to react to it. I remember talking to a Patreon supporter of mine who encouraged me to do Patreon. I started the Patreon before the hitchhiking trip as well. This was during when YouTube videos were getting demonetized a lot, and I wasn't making the same kind of revenue. I don't think a lot of creators were losing a lot of money. And Patreon was a way where we didn't have to rely on YouTube and their silly policies. We had another layer of support so we could keep doing this. And that has really been a successful thing for so many creators. It's not just me, but I didn't know how to feel about that either. This stuff just kind of happened really quickly. All of a sudden, we had super chats. We had channel memberships like a year or two after that. Then we had, back in 2017, I think I started the Patreon, 2016, 2017. And like we didn't have so many outlets for creators to make a living out of what they do. And that's changed the game quite a bit. And now we see not just, thousands of people doing it, we're seeing millions of people trying to do it, right? And this is great. People who lost their jobs, don't know what to do, have some sort of skill, have a story, so they create a YouTube channel and now they can make a living out of this. And if you can excel at that, you can do that. And that's so amazing, knock on aluminum, for everybody to have some level of success on this platform. It's all a big community, so I'm thankful for that very much. If I had started this channel over, I don't know if it would be as successful. I think that there is value in being the first one to do something. Yeah, sure, there's the Braveheart thing, right? Everyone's seen the movie Braveheart. If you haven't, it's a pretty awesome movie. A little violent, but that's the thing. There's that first wave of Scots that ran into the gunfire yelling like mad. They always get knocked down. But some of them got up again. But being the first, where am I going with this? Being the first one, or one of the first ones to try new things and to be on the platform really is a good thing. It took a lot of, it was different back then because it was way more expensive to do live streaming. It was way harder to do live streaming. And I don't know if I could get to, the level that I am now if I'd started today. I know it's a lot harder. You have to be different. You have to be more unique. And I'm just who I am. I don't know if I'm anybody special. That's what I am. I am who I am? Is that Popeye? I'm even taking stuff from Popeye. Can we get more of you with Matt Alt? Sure. Matt is a good friend. Oh, you can see Tokyo Tower. Do you see it? Right next to the thing that looks like Tokyo Tower is the actual Tokyo Tower. Whoa. Maybe that's where the signal's being transmitted from. So Tokyo Tower is directly behind that building there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a nice day. I still haven't seen Space Boat though. I was hoping that we would get there. And I'm kind of thirsty. I feel kind of sad that I wasted all the water trying to celebrate. I'll take you over there, but the problem is that there was no signal. Another reason why sometimes live streams technologically are limited is because of something called denpa in Japanese. Japan is one of the most modern countries in the world in many ways. And it's also one of the most non-modern countries in the world in many ways. The internet is one of those ways. I would say Korea has better internet than Japan. I'd say a lot of countries probably have better internet than Japan. Japan's pretty good, but it's also a volcanic country with earthquakes, and I don't know if that impacts the fact that the wires are underground or something. A lot of the apartment complexes have old wiring, and they still have VDSL, I think it's called, like a different kind of internet than we have today. But the signal strength around Japan is not great. I think that just has to do with the fact, like, let me put the camera down here. I think it has to do with the fact that, just hear me see, okay? The fact that the download speeds are like 400 megabits per second, and the upload speeds can be sometimes 3 megabits per second. 5G can be 1 gigabit per second down, and nothing up. Nothing. There's no upload speed. Live streaming is all about the upload speed. So if you have good upload, you can have a good live stream. Last year, around, when was it, like November or something, I switched from using the YouTube app, which a lot of you were frustrated with. The biggest complaint that we had with this experimental channel was that, why are your streams still 720p? Why aren't they 1080p? And other creators had started to do it in 1080p. So I did a little bit of research, and I found this app called Prism Studio, which is, you can download on there. There's some issues with it. Of course, it's not perfect. There's a long time before we could, mirror the screen, for example. The audio sometimes was a little bit off. There's sometimes I can't see the super chat stickers on this platform. There's little things that are challenging, but it's better quality because they're using a different codec than the YouTube. And I asked YouTube why they don't use this codec so that their app can be better quality than the YouTube app. Like, shouldn't the YouTube app want to compete with Prism Studio, right? But they don't, and I'm not quite sure why. They changed the app in different ways. Like, they have this gimmick where now you can call in and have 2 people do it, but have you seen many live streams where people are actually using it? Not really, not for mobile live streaming. So I don't think they get still the whole idea of mobile live streaming. I think what I do on YouTube is still really unique to them. I don't think that they quite grasp mobile live streaming yet, because a lot of creators don't do it. There's a friend of mine who's a really big Japan-based YouTuber. He's got, I think, 3 million subscribers now, which is 10 times more than what we have here. And I remember he was a lot smaller than me at the time, and then he grew really great, which is fantastic. And we did a live stream together once about 5 years ago, and I said, why don't you do this? This is an amazing format where you can connect with people. And he said it's just not his thing. So this is not a format for everybody. Not everybody likes to talk. Not everybody likes to, I don't know, just be live and not have full control over everything. But my comeback to that was, look, man, you don't have to edit anything, first of all, so it's a lot quicker. And second, you are who you are. People love you for who you are. And if people don't love you for that and you're editing it, I don't know. I've had times where I've met people that maybe this is some of you can also say this. Like, you met people, you meet them in person, and they're different than the people that you would meet on camera. With this live streaming stuff and the way social media is now, you can't have that anymore. People are who they are. If you're doing something like this all the time, I can't fake it, you know? It's hard to fake it. It's just who I am. But I think for a lot of people, everybody has different personalities and not everybody is the same way. This isn't a good thing. This is probably a defect. Like I might have some sort of defect. It's not normal. Not everybody can do it well. Exactly, Michael. I don't know. Everybody's different, and that it's not for everybody. So I encourage people to try it, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. And for this creator, it wasn't for him. So that's okay. Wait, you're not a dork in person? No, I am. What do you mean? We got 300,000 dorks here. No, I'm a huge dork. Are you kidding me? If you ask kids in high school, I was in the dork group. I was a leader of the dorks. Not really. If you're ever a leader of a dork, then you're a leader, so you're not really a dork. And the point was that I'm glad that I was. A lot of people that weren't dorks aren't very successful in life. My friends, I'm not sure what a dork is. I guess you just have you're just different. But my friends were like, we all played computer games and stuff. Like not video games, not Nintendo. Like we would program DOS and make our own games. This is the level of geekiness, all right? We played Dungeons and Dragons. We had like different ways of entertaining ourselves. It wasn't video games like Nintendo, although we did do that sometimes. Yeah, I didn't have a girlfriend in college, or sorry, in high school. None. That I remember, none. I remember I tried calling girls, never worked out. I didn't know what to say. Now I do. I've been watching you since this is from Vincent. How you doing, Vincent? I've been watching you since Hitchhiking Streams. Wow, that's way back in 2017 in the beginning. Oh my gosh. Julie writes in here, congratulations, thanks for the many info you share about Japan. We are no longer strangers in Japan. Now you're married and with a kid. I know, Sean, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Basically coding live streams at 500K from Peso there. Doing it live doesn't mean less views. Lots of YouTubers create content for the views. That's a good point too. So when I started live streaming, I did live streams on the other channel, and I also learned that people like this format and people don't like this format. I think you need to separate it. I think you need to have two channels, which is why Only in Japan Go is called Go. I just go. I don't, just go and live stream it. Don't overplan it, just go. And I found that people like edited content and some people don't. Some people don't want to be notified every day about a live stream. Some people do, which is one of the things why Patreon excels. You get notifications of every live stream through the Patreon app, which lets you know that a live stream is coming. So, oh, thank you, Joy. Wow, that's so nice. Rainier, super chat from Mom and I. Hey, Mom. I keep up the great work. Thank you, Rainier. I got to talk to you a little bit later, too, about some stuff as well. Thanks for that. I'm so happy, and Rainier and his mom have been watching for a long time, and when I'm live streaming, and after I get to know people, especially if you come and get a You Found Me card, like when you do chat, I do see you. I see you. It's funny because I get to know you through this, through the chats, through the actually coming to meet me. There's a fire station like right across the street here. Go is great, but please give many of us some notice before the 500,000 subscriber level so we can plan a gathering in Tokyo. Arturo, if we ever get there, I will totally do a big party for that. I wanted just to do a low-key one because my family, our family's been sick on and off. Our son Leo has been pretty sick for the last 10 days, coughing. I think he got sick like 4 times in a row with new things. It was really hard. Kanai got sick, then I got sick, but I got over really fast. But when I got sick, it was really bad. The next day I felt great. I couldn't understand it. I think it might be all the vitamin D pills I'm taking or something. When is Leo getting a brother or sister? Really? Live stream? I'm not gonna discuss that live. I'm gonna do that like in an edited video so I can edit out the parts that I make my wife angry. The good thing about doing this live streaming is that you also get a little bit of sense on what you should say and what you should not say, what you should hold back on and what you should release. And I release a lot, but there's a lot that I will hold back on. Tig writes in here, and Tig, a big supporter of the fireworks display. When's the next fireworks display? They're going to be doing them publicly, thank goodness, here in Tokyo this summer. So the Samidagawa Fireworks Festival, which has been off for 4 years, is back on. I'm so excited about that. I see more and more people shedding the masks now, which is really great. Japanese people, so people are starting to see that life can go back to normal. This is going to be about a 1 hour live stream. So there's a lot to talk about with you guys about the history of this channel. It would be wrong not to discuss 2020 and when this started, the pandemic, which is now over, essentially. It's still around, but most countries have returned back to normal, 100%. I could see that coming. I could see that this is going to be bad, like from January. Like you just could tell, you could know. And countries did move a little bit slower on it, but you could see Japan, I think, thought that it was impervious. No, what's the opposite of that? Like it would not happen here, maybe? I don't know what they were thinking. Then the Diamond Princess came through Okinawa and then through here, and then it was over. And start in 2020, from January, you could see I was doing live streams about this because for me, I think when I started this channel in 2017, I also recognized that this was a place where I could answer your questions as well. And I realized that a lot of you made trips to Japan based on that. So a lot of you were basing how you would pack, where you would go, how to act and eat, and food and restaurants and things to do that through what you learned through YouTube, and in particular this channel, because we could communicate like this. A lot of people would watch this before their trip. A lot of people join the Patreon to get question and answers so that they can communicate to help prepare for their trip, which is awesome. So I felt when 2020 hit, after 3 years of doing this live streaming, I felt when that hit, I had a responsibility to help you guys out with planning your trip to Japan. And in January, there was a lot of uncertainty, even then. In February, when the Diamond Princess came in and the world was looking at Japan with this pandemic, you remember that? Even the government figures wrote in the number of sick people plus Diamond Princess. Japan would not even admit just that was a part of their total because they were prideful of the fact that it wasn't really here. It was weird, but we saw the culture come through a little bit, for better or for worse. But in March, when they started to shut down the country, I could see that clearly. And I'm really happy that for many of you that were following the channel through that, you were able to plan effectively and to try to, and almost avoid getting caught in that. Some of you who did get caught found a way to get out before they stopped flights. And I'm really thankful for that too. So because of this channel and the ability to communicate information, even back in 2020, we didn't have as many live streamers like this. So it was really good to get that information out to people quick and be able to make some sort of judgment. And even then, I was able to give you information based on what I heard through local Japanese news, where it was not being picked up by the media at all, because there were other problems going on around the world. And a lot of you had booked trips, had I don't know, suspended that, like you had open tickets to return anytime, and you had to try to find ways to plan it. And nobody knew what was going to happen, and it wasn't until 2022 November that the borders opened for good. There were like quarantines. The rule changes were awful. Oh my gosh! But I realized that this is something that a lot of you really cared about, and a great deal of the subscribers we have were a result of being able to give you that information faster than in an edited video. You can't do it in an edited video. By the time you edit the video, the information had changed. You had to do it live. You had to do it right now, right? And that's where this channel excels, at being able to bring you a story. If there's a typhoon coming, I might take you outside and show you what it's like live because you can feel it, you know it, you can see it, you can taste it. It's not dangerous to be out in a live stream doing a typhoon in Tokyo when in the beginning there at the end of it, but it's not you know, when it's dangerous you go back in, but that's the kind of stuff that you can share in a live stream, which makes this platform so special. It's different. You can take advantage of that. And with information like this, I really did. And I'm really happy that a lot of other YouTubers started to do it too. I'm pretty sure I was the first one to do it. I'm pretty sure, because it goes back to the fact that there weren't a lot of other live streamers, okay, even in 2020, and a lot of people didn't see this coming. Like, they didn't know what was going on, and I started to live stream about it because I knew this is something that impacted travel, that you could see it. So this was where the channel grew quite a bit during the pandemic, actually. I couldn't go out. It was hard. We had states of emergency, which didn't really mean much of anything. We had, like, it was weird. Like, you know, you could go out, but you could go out to the supermarket, but you can't go out for certain things. In hindsight, it does seem a little bit silly, but it is what it is, right? You abide by the rules as much as you can. So that was a time of where we were in really close touch, and a lot of you who are watching now probably subscribed at that time. And thank you for sticking around, and thank you for having a strong interest in Japan, and thank you for letting me entertain you in my tent as we did midnight tenting, midnight camping with a campfire on an LCD screen. Life was different. Life was different back then. And it seems like back to normal. Now it's back to the competitiveness of all the other live streamers. There's a lot of them, and me having to innovate too. A live streamer in this platform, you can't just continue to do the same thing. You have to innovate. You have to take people to new places. That's not easy now with a family. It's different now. Life has changed so much in 6 years. It's not as easy to do the things that I want to do. I have to make sacrifices in one way or another. Everybody knows about the old channel, and it was literally hell for a year and a half before that rupture, and it was hell for a year and a half after that. And it still is kind of, you know, challenging, but I've stabilized pretty good. So I'm quite happy. I'm happy enough to waste a bottle of water to celebrate. Yeah. I'm happy that other people are doing this too. That's about it. Let me take some of your questions here. I've been trying my best to look at the live stream, but the way I operate is that I don't look at the live stream like closely. Everything that everyone says is not the priority, and this is Tokyo Bay right now. My priority is to make sure I don't walk into a pole, all right? To make sure I don't hurt myself. To make sure I'm, when I'm filming here. And that's my priority. So I'm not always looking at the screen. And also just talking and looking at my surroundings and reacting to that. It's a hard balance. Live streaming, how do you do it? What do you do? My philosophy has been just that, to use the things that I see around me in the comment and make that the show. And look at the live stream when I can and use that as part of the entertainment. Because for me, I want there to be value when you watch this after the live stream is over. And a Q&A of watching just the people that are here is not so interesting. But this is the thing that I remember the most. The thing that I learned from what's happening in the stream right now, a lot of you might not agree with this, but I learned from my moderators, and I got something that's gonna happen like in 30 seconds. I gotta show the camera around. A lot of you are talking to each other, and this is the way it should be. A lot of you are talking with one another about the stuff that's happening, sharing stories with each other. There's not just a community of me and you, there's a community of you and you. And this is what's so awesome. And this is the thing, I think that it's hard for YouTube, even the programmers or the executives or the YouTube team to understand this. I've explained them to them. It's hard for some of you to understand this, and it's hard for other YouTube creators who don't live stream to understand this. There's a community of you who know each other. I've had people meet. This is a direct result of Only in Japan Go. And this is the thing that makes me so happy about what we do. And it's what we do. I've had people, especially in particular in California and in Germany, get to know each other and meet each other and make friends with each other, all connected with this. And I've been on the phone through Discord or through Patreon or something and been able to share that experience with a meetup of 5 or 6 people that met through the chat, and went to a Japanese restaurant in Germany or to Little Japan in Los Angeles or something like that. It was just so awesome. I mean, there's so many direct results of starting a community like this, starting a channel like this, that I never even contemplated what would happen. There are people apparently who got married through Only in Japan, the community meetups and stuff. That's pretty freaking awesome. People that have started dating. You know how I know? Because there are people on Patreon who support, who send messages and say, I met my wife, we both have a very strong interest in Japan, and Only in Japan has brought us together. Stuff like this. Maybe not, I'm not sure directly, but I know that it's brought people together. So, I don't know. That would be the ultimate, if we had somebody who got married as a result of the Only in Japan Go. That'd be pretty cool. I'm sure that there might be, I don't know. But to see people make friends from this meeting here in the chat, that's the point, right? The point is that I'm not always reading the comments here. There are people here that are also living in Japan. There are people here that know Japan better than I do, quite frankly. There are people here that, I don't know all the answers. I just know that when you do something like this, people come, you bring together a community of people. You can ask questions of me, or you can ask questions and somebody in the chat will probably answer you, right? That's awesome. It's all thanks to modern tech. And Peso says here, finder's fee. Nah. I think that on Patreon and through super chats and stuff, people take care of me, you know? So it's okay. They don't need a finder's fee. There's too much greed already in the world. I don't need finder's fee. But I just want to say thank you to those people that see the value beyond what I see sometimes in this platform. And for that, I'd say, I don't know, there's a percentage of the people on Patreon that are thankful for this because of how it connects them to something else. And I'm really thankful for that. I never saw that until people started to bring that to my attention. So that's something that's really awesome, right? That's something that's really awesome. I thought I saw the space boat, but I saw that the space boat went to dock over here. So Gabubot writes in here, I've been following you for years. I injured myself years ago and haven't traveled since, but I watch your videos and follow your adventures. Well, thank you. You know, a lot of people might remember Gretchen, who she had a lot of issues, a lot of things going on where she couldn't travel to Japan, but she really wanted to. And you know, I think that was really cool that she could do that. She could feel like she was in Japan by watching the show. And Spaceboat's over there somewhere, kind of waiting. You see it? It went in near Hamamatsucho into the dock, so it should be coming out in a second. Oh, I see it right there. Right there. Alex writes in here, Alex Kohara, keep up the good work, John. Thanks for keeping us updated on all things Japan travel related. Thank you, Alex. And there are some of the cruise ships. That's where the ferry to Ogasawara takes off, which I'm hoping to be there this summer. Again, one of my favorite places in Japan, by far. All right, any last questions here? I'm just so happy to be here. Yes, me too, but where exactly, what? Sometimes, that's another thing, because if I look at the chat, sometimes you guys are talking to each other. I'm out of it. I don't know, I can't catch up with the conversations here. Adam writes in here, this channel and its influence globally should also go to share remote working and global employees' works too. I just had to say that. Indeed. I think that the fact that you could, this is the thing that shocked me the most, Adam, okay? 2018, remote working. It is a new phenomenon. I went to one of the most remote islands in Japan, and maybe, I don't know, in this area of the Pacific. It's Aogashima, which you have to get there by helicopter, or there's a ferry boat, but half the time it can't dock there, literally. It has to turn around, or it doesn't even leave from the Hachijo Island. So I got there by helicopter, and I was able to live stream from there. It's not a beautiful live stream, but the fact that they had a signal where I could live stream wirelessly from a remote island that looked like Jurassic Park is freaking awesome, man. The fact that I could go to Ogasawara, which is a 24-hour ferry ride, there's no airplanes to get to that island, and do live streams that were clearer than from central Tokyo because they had less people, but really awesome technology. There's a cable under the water, I guess, I don't know. That's amazing. Maybe that's the cable that connects Japan to the United States under the Pacific or something. I don't know. But all of that is just really awesome. It's really awesome. And in 2017, I don't think we really had remote working as much, but now you can do it wirelessly anywhere because data bandwidth costs are so cheap, it's almost like water. Every plan is like an unlimited plan pretty much at a very reasonable cost comparatively to 6 years ago. And like Wi-Fi is everywhere. There's a lot of connectivity. When I first started, did my first hitchhiking trip in 2003, Wi-Fi was kind of new. And I remember being in Miyazaki at the end of my hitchhiking trip, and I had a Sony Vaio, and you could turn the Wi-Fi on with a little switch. And I'd turn the Wi-Fi on looking for unprotected, you didn't even think of protected, unprotected signals. Every signal was an unprotected signal in Japan. So I remember sitting outside of a bank in Miyazaki using their Wi-Fi to check my email. I was wondering maybe the law enforcement will come, like, isn't it a little suspicious to see a dude with a computer out in front of a bank for an hour? But apparently not. I was using a bank's Wi-Fi, unprotected Wi-Fi, to check my internet. Oh man, we've changed a lot. We've moved a lot in a very short amount of time. So I want to say thank you one last time to everybody. Congratulations to our community for 300,000 of us who have thought this channel was valuable enough. And that's what a subscription means. This channel was valuable enough that somebody who had watched it thought that they wanted to be a part of it and they subscribed, or they wanted to put a bookmarker in there, or they wanted to keep it. And that, if YouTube creator, I'm talking to you right now, that is everything. That's more important, except maybe your family and your job, but that is everything for what you do here. If somebody subscribes, that is the ultimate. That's what you do this for. That is the ultimate end result. And for 300,000 people on this channel, thank you. I never thought we would actually get here. I never even thought this channel would actually survive. I didn't think I would still be doing this 6 years later. I wonder if I'll still be doing this 4 years later. But for the 10th anniversary, my goal is to be at 500,000 subscribers in the next 4 years, and I wonder if we can do that. So I'll have to innovate and to find new ways to connect with you. But we're 2 minutes away from 1 hour here. YouTube has some great things in the works. There's a new format called AV1, which allows you to do this in 4K with half the bandwidth. So if this comes, we're gonna have 4K live streams. Processors are getting stronger, so there's gonna be more connectivity and more awesome things that we can do with the live streams. Think about if I had a GoPro that was connected to the smartphone and was able to go back and forth between this camera in my hand and this camera. Or I could put the GoPro in a completely different angle and have a wide angle and be able to switch back and forth wirelessly to that. There's lots of different things that I can think of in order to make this even more dynamic. So I got a lot of optimism with this live streaming channel. I think right now we're kind of in a wave, like the bottom of the wave, and I think the technology, especially with AI, which could be a very big help to this, creates some amazing stuff. So the next 4 years are going to be pretty fun. So I want to say thank you for that subscription. It means a huge amount to me because I know that the channels are built upon you, built together with you, because this is where if people didn't subscribe to the channel, you question the value of what you're doing. And this is an amazing thing. Don't forget to become a contestant on Takeshi's Castle. Really? That's the last thing. This is a great way to get information from people too. Matt writes in here, this channel and your work help bring people together to help Japan revitalizations, where you got 300 pages of research. We should thank Toby too. Jonathan, yes, you can't forget good old Toby. Hopefully he'll be a part of the 500th subscriber episode. This channel is awesome. Thank you, Gabobot. Thanks again. Carrie is here. She should be nearby, huh? I remembered watching your videos from the old channel. It was about the white strawberry. Wow. There you go. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. 1 hour. I'll see you again in a live stream really soon. It won't be about milestones or JR Pass tickets, JR Rail tickets, or anything like that. We'll try to do something new, like a walk through Shinjuku. A lot of people have been telling me to go to Shin Okubo. Maybe that's going to be the next live stream, but I'll try to get a midnight snack run really quickly too. Although I'm trying to stop those because it's not great for your health, right? But it is good fun. All right, bye from Tokyo Bay. Appreciate all the support for the last 6 years. I'll see you in another 4. No, this channel will be going on for another 4, at least, to 10 years and 500,000 subscribers, the next milestone. Bye, everybody. I should be waving at you. またね。